It's October, my friend, and it's been a good one so far. We're only 2 days in, and my demeanor is up. I feel nice and cheery, and we've seen some positive price action. We're gonna chat a little bit. We're gonna go degen, and we're gonna chat price action. I think we're entitled. We've had a lot of sideways boringness over the summer, and it's nice to see some fall Uptober action. And there was something very unique that happened just in September that hasn't happened historically a lot in Bitcoin, and there's an indicator of. It is an indicator of where we may go for the remainder of the year. So we'll chat about that and a whole bunch of other things. There's also somebody that has got to be just cringing because his company, despite him hating Bitcoin, his company is calling for much higher Bitcoin prices. Let me break this down for my fellow Bitcoiners. In just 8 weeks, I've seen a serious shift. More strength, more energy, and fast muscle gains. The reason? FITSCRIPT. They ran 124 biomarkers, blood, hormones, inflammation, and built a fully custom plan, nutrition, training, supplements. No guesswork, no templates. This is functional medicine meets precision fitness for high-performing men who want sovereignty over their health. If you care about optimization the way you care about your money, test, don't guess. Don't trust, verify. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to check out FITSCRIPT and see what's possible. Let's chat Uptober. Let's do it. Peek at what's going on. I mean, we're above 120K per coin, which feels pretty nice, especially like when a week ago we were at like 109, and I was, some people were feeling a little gloomy about that. Didn't feel so nice. So it's nice to see things kind of flip back. Uptober wasted no time. Day one, up. Day two, up quite a bit. And so, in the past week, we're up about 10%. We're up about 10K. Feels good.
10K in a week. That's fine. That's okay. A little slow for my liking, but I can live with 10K in a week. That's okay.
Yeah, not bad at all. Now, even, Uptober is a full-on meme now. We even have CNBC posting and talking about Bitcoin could see strong gains as Uptober begins, which is hilarious to see CNBC using the term Uptober. I don't know. We're living in a simulation here. But I think what we need to do first before we get into Uptober, we need to pour one out for our fallen brethren. Well, maybe not brethren, but the fallen ones, the ones who doubted. And so we're just going to do a little throwback to Daniel Sloss calling Bitcoin beanie baby for tech bros when it was 6.5K. Let's take a listen.
Should double that quickly. Is the value of Bitcoin? Just kidding. That was a garbage investment and you're an idiot. Bitcoin is just beanie babies for tech bros. Look, man, every person I went to high school with was like, yo, Bitcoin is going to change your life. BTC, get on it right now. And I'm like, Tommy Wilson, you work at Office Max. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, by the way, hey, internet comments, it's trading at 6.5K. Go fuck yourself. Look.
Hey, Daniel Sloss,
that should double that quick.
It's trading at 120K. Go fuck yourself.
I don't think Tommy Wilson is working at Office Max anymore, by the way, either. He's probably fucking your wife. Sorry, bad language.
Tommy Wilson is on a yacht somewhere right now. Oh, man. I love it.
Always nice to take a victory lap.
Yeah, it's always good. Oh, Daniel, too bad for you. Anyways, speaking of people that might be a little bit salty right now, Jamie Dimon, we know that he hates Bitcoin, but despite his deep hatred of Bitcoin, and at one point saying that he would fire anybody in his office that owned it, JP Morgan, who he's CEO of, now predicts $165,000 Bitcoin price by year end. The analysts over at JP Morgan see Bitcoin as $46,000 undervalued compared to gold. And again, they're talking about the ETF inflows and all that. It reflects Bitcoin's increased appeal amid gold's recent rally. So kind of hearkening to the thing that we've seen historically where gold will go for a rip and then Bitcoin will follow faster and harder afterwards. And we might be seeing the first inklings of that now. Now, this is Joe Consorti, friend of the show, awesome dude. Says JP Morgan says Bitcoin undervalued relative to gold, implying a 42% rise in Bitcoin for a fair value of 165K. And this shows kind of the gold versus Bitcoin charts. And again, this is gold with a 100-day lead and just kind of adjusting for that and overlaying the charts. And this is typically what happens. More volatility in Bitcoin, but the upswings following similarly. Now, Joe had a nice little breakdown the other day on kind of what's going on regards to the government shutdown and all of that. I did just want to play a little clip of it. It is a few minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Joe's an absolute legend. So let's just take a listen to a little bit of what he had to say.
Welcome to Uptober. So September is historically Bitcoin's worst month. Since 2013, it has averaged negative returns. Yet this September, Bitcoin defied history, rising 6.25%, just like it did last year. And as if to set the tone, October, which is the start of Q4, typically Bitcoin's strongest quarter, October being the second best month historically for Bitcoin, has wasted no time at all. On day one to this point, Bitcoin has risen about 3%. Ironically, this is on the same day that the US government shut down after failing to agree on a spending package. Now, the broader macro backdrop feels very familiar. 1 year ago, Bitcoin was coiled in a long period of consolidation, and just as central banks around the world shifted toward easier monetary policy, Bitcoin began climbing. It's the exact same pattern that we see today. So the Federal Reserve has officially begun its rate cutting cycle. We all know this. 2 weeks ago, the Fed cut by 25 basis points, and markets are pricing in 100 basis points of total cuts between now and next year. That conviction only strengthened after today's jobs data. ADP employment showed a 32,000 job loss for September compared to expectations of a 51,000 job gain. Even worse, August numbers were revised down from a 54,000 job gain to negative 3,000 jobs. A weakening labor market is reinforcing the Fed's decision to cut rates, sending yields lower and pushing investors back out on the risk curve. Gold has already broken out as well. It broke out earlier in the summer, and now it looks like it's Bitcoin's turn. So just
now, I do want to now show you a little bit of history in regards to what happened uniquely in September. That doesn't happen very often. September, again, Joe said, historically Bitcoin's worst month. It's not very often that Bitcoin ends on an upturn within September, but we were up I can't remember what he said, 6 point something percent. But nonetheless, when Bitcoin has had a good September, that typically means that the rest of the year has looked really, really good. And so you can see that 2015, these 2015, 16, 23, and 24 were all years where we had a green September. And what that meant was, on average, looking at the different years over the course of the whole quarter, October, November, December, 2015 with a green September gave us a 66% rise. 2016 gave us a 50%. 2023 gave us a 49%, 49.5%, and 2024 gave us a 45%. If you average them out, it's somewhere in the 50% range, just over 50 something percent. Which would put us in the range of $170,000 for the end of the year if history were to repeat itself. So that's pretty interesting. And furthermore, there's I love the rational root. He has always got this super interesting charts. I like his Bitcoin spiral, but he basically has shown where Bitcoin has performed the best, and it's typically in quarter four of the end of a 4-year cycle. And so right now we're just getting into quarter four of typically what would be the best performance historically of Bitcoin. And I mean, it's time to strap in. We'll see what happens. So my question to you, Nathan, is, do you think we're going to see a repeat of kind of what we've seen historically? Like, are we gonna gonna have some nice rips for the next few months here. And does the cycle theory hold up? Because there's a lot of things that have been very different this cycle. Pre-halving all-time high, never happened before. Even the bear market before that broke below the previous all-time high. It's been a pretty steady, just like grind up. There's not been a lot of large pullbacks, not anywhere near a regular cycle.
Oh yeah.
So it feels very different. What do you think?
You're right. We had the pre-halving new all-time high. We had the below previous all-time high during the bear market. The ETFs, love them or hate them, that's a change. That's a new player in the space that is a big buyer and much slower to move. I am definitely coming around to, I still think cycles will be there. Perhaps they're muted more of it. Maybe if we do have that kind of remember the post gold ETF, it's basically just up and to the right on kind of a slow grind for a while. We might be in that sort of phase. I mean, my conversation with VJ Boy Party, he thinks 5 years, like we might be just up and to the right, slow stair stepping up for the next 5 years. And I do see the argument, and to the point of, I do think cycles, just because of the human psychology, will at least somewhat still come into play. We haven't had these repeated 30% drawdowns, right? Which I'm almost looking for that volatility, and it hasn't occurred yet. I'm still not seeing a lot of retail interest, even just looking at, Google search information, trends, as well as just general conversations. I don't think retail can move the price. However, I think they're a good indication of the sentiment at the moment, and big players will probably be playing those swings and that momentum as well. So even though retail might actually not be the one pushing it, they can give you an idea of kind of where we are and which way the momentum's going. But if I were to take do I think that we're going to have a wonderful and exciting fall, maybe spring as well too? I absolutely do. And the reason being is, try to give me the flip side. Give me the bearish case. What now is going to cause the Bitcoin price to tank? Give me the theory of how the Bitcoin price tanks. And I can't find one outside of a major black swan, a monetary credit event, a major war outbreaking, and kind of just in everything correlation to one crashing. I don't see a bearish case for Bitcoin. I was also just having a wonderful conversation with a billionaire who is looking to make more plays similar to Saylor and get into this space as well too. There are large institutions that are setting up shop. It takes time. They're coming here. They're going to be building out. They're going to be offering more products and services. We have other big money players entering the space. I could see boring. I could see boring up and to the right, but someone please, I can't make the bearish case for you.
Yeah. And I see a couple things in the chat, and we talk about presuppositions and assumptions being broken, right? And a couple of those, one was the halving is the cause and the driving factor for price action. The other is the idea of diminishing returns. For me, if those two things were to break this cycle, that would be massive. And even moderately, right? Like if this cycle, the upside was just like a few percent higher than last cycle, that would be super interesting to me. The 4-year cycle, if that were to extend out and elongate, that would be wild. Like if we saw our all-time high happen later in 2026, that would be very, very interesting to me. And I think, again, somebody said that global M2 growth now matters more than the block reward. I would say yes. I would say that the block reward matters less and less. And I think M2 growth matters more than block reward for two reasons. One, because just nominally the dollars are going to buy less, so Bitcoin is going to be worth more dollars. So that's a major factor. But also, as M2 grows and people get how bad fiat is, more and more people get it, including the people who are tasked, who their number one job is preserving purchasing power and protecting capital. And we've seen a lot of those people coming into Bitcoin as of late. And what do you think is going to happen as M2 grows even more and people have even more to point to in terms of why Bitcoin? Well, more and more people are going to get it. And I think that is the driving factor. I think how many people whose job it is to protect capital, including the average person, including, people with families that just want to save for retirement, how many of those people are beginning to understand, because the halving doesn't mean nearly as much anymore. 95% of all Bitcoin have been mined. Our inflation rate, or the creation of new coins coming in, is negligible. And cutting that in half is not as nearly as much as a driving factor for price. But what is people understanding how important and scarce Bitcoin is, and buying it and holding on to it and using it. So I think that makes it more unpredictable, but I think that throws diminishing returns out the window too, because
Agreed.
there's a whole lot of the world left to allocate in any meaningful way to Bitcoin. And once they figure out that they not only want to, but need to, it's like 90 something percent of the world. Like when they say, oh, there's this many people that own Bitcoin. Yeah, but how much? Like, yeah, there's certain people that own a lot, but the average person, like they'll count somebody who bought like $5 of Bitcoin in a Coinbase account and got it for free because they signed up, right? That doesn't count to me. What counts to me is somebody who's like, fiat is trash. I need my savings in Bitcoin. It is my savings vehicle, or it's my currency, or it's my treasury. Those are the people that matter. And those people are growing in numbers. Hey, you. Yes, you watching the Bitcoin price movements and the latest exciting news. It's awesome to stay informed, but the real power of Bitcoin comes from taking control. Don't just watch, take action. Head over to btcsessions.ca/learn for free step-by-step tutorials that guide you through every major skill you need to know, plus full video playlists for deeper dives on any topic you like. And if you're ready for the ultimate fast track, scroll to the bottom and check out bitcoinmentor.io for premium one-on-one experience with my team of Bitcoin experts to ensure you get it right the first time. Don't wait. Secure your Bitcoin future today. Hit the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen.